What's up, you guys? SlimXTeamSymmetry here to bring you guys the newest episode of The Good, The Bad, and the Yu-Gi-Oh! And yes, after all this time, we are going to do it on the Elemental Dragons, Incarnate Dragons, whatever the hell you want to call them. The most broken, most ridiculous, most unfair deck probably to come into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the longest time. I've been waiting to do this episode because I wanted most of the cards to come out, and of course they all did. They are all still coming out this Friday. Tachyon Galaxy will be legal. Those of you that went to the sneak preview probably were able to pick up the baby dragons. The baby dragons were not a problem to pick up. They were common, but these big bitches were so damn hard to get. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but it was almost impossible to walk out of there with an entire complete set of them unless like you just threw cash everywhere. They were like $5 to $10 rares. It was ridiculous. And of course, you couldn't leave without getting Drago Sack. I was fortunate enough to pull a Drago Sack. Only one though. You need three, so as great as it is to pull one, the only thing that did is save me money or save me trade value in the process. Card is very hard to get. Judgment Day was extremely hard to get. A lot of these cards were hard to pull, but the deck is ridiculous. The deck is, I have talked to so many people and they have just said that this is the deck that's just gonna, like change Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's the best deck. It can get out almost every situation. It utilizes hand traps like no other, and it can just get out of situations that most decks cannot. So everyone's just wondering, what's gonna happen to the game when this deck drops. And a lot of people are saying that, they're going to have to either, really tech out their deck, or they're going to have to just join the crowd and run this deck. They're going to have to, if they run Prophecy, Prophecy is a really good deck. The ability to use Judgment Day and to speed through everything you need and just clear the board and just use Priestess and Jowgen. Jowgen the Spiritualist is broken, just kills this deck, is how they can win. Other things is that Ophion and all Evil Sworns have a chance against this deck. Other decks have a chance, but a lot of people are just saying that this is just the deck that's going to be able to destroy everything. So we're just going to get into what's so good about it. So if you guys can see, it's like every other version of like dragons that we've seen in the last couple of months, year or so in Yu-Gi-Oh! Mostly all monsters, and they rely on the big dragons. You have Blaster, you have Tempest, you have Redox, and you have Tidal. Those are your big dragons, obviously. You bring them out through the use of the little dragons being Burner, Reactin, Lightning, and Stream. So basically the ratios that I was doing research on the deck, and people were saying the best ratios to run, of course, a full set of 12 big dragons and 8 baby dragons. So 2 of each baby dragon, complete sets of the big dragons, and you basically just discard them and use them to summon the big dragons. The big dragons have some other crazy effects. For people who don't know, Blaster is the one that, if it was special summoned, return it. You can discard this card and one fire type monster to the graveyard, then target one card on the field, destroy that target. If this card is banished, you can add a fire type dragon monster from your deck to your hand, except Blaster once per turn. So basically, when you banish it, you can get the baby. Like, there's so many, like, I can't even begin to explain like how much crazy like synergy this deck has. I haven't really tested it yet myself. I've only seen people use it, and it's just explosive how fast the deck goes. And it's not only that. Yeah, I think what makes the deck also really good is that it has multiple draw cards. It has Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars. This card is very simple. You banish one of the big dragons. They get their effect. Like if you banish Blaster, you get Burner to hand, or you get Burner to hand, another dragon to hand, and then you draw 2 cards. It's like, what? Like it's so annoying. And of course, the most like broken spell in the deck is probably Super Rejuvenation. Everyone's told me that this is the card that just makes the deck, because you're going to discard the dragons obviously to summon the bigger dragons. So you use Super Rejuvenation during the end phase. You're going to make up for the cards you discarded. So if you discard, say Burner, Lightning, summon one of the big dragons, you use Super Rejuve. You're going to draw 2 cards. You're gonna, you're gonna get stuff off of the big dragons that come out regardless. Like you're plussing like every which way in this deck, and I think that that's just crazy when you think about it. Other things that are good about the deck, if you guys have seen this, is that it utilizes hand trap, Maxis, Veilers. This version that I got from Core TCG ran Joel and Lockbird. You don't have to run Joel and Lockbird. People are saying that it's probably better in the side deck, but it's good in the mirror match. It's good against Prophecy. So having a main deck option against that is really good. Also, if you run into Gishki, card's really good. So those cards are just really versatile in the deck. It's really cool that the deck can use like all the hand traps. I really like that. Other things about it is that if you guys have noticed, these dragons are just big. Redox has 3,000 defense. That's like fuck. Like it's so hard to get around. Um, Blaster's 28, Title is 26, and Tempest is 24. Like they're big dragons. They're big, and that's the thing is that when Chaos Dragons came out, the reason why they were so successful is that they just blasted through monsters because they were big. Brutality wins games when when the opponent is overwhelmed by big monsters, it's very hard for them to capitalize, especially if their resources are gone. And you can get rid of their resources with Blaster. You can just reuse your monsters. Like it's ridiculous. Another thing, if you guys have noticed, what's so good about the deck is the deck turns off effects like it's nobody's business. There's 3 effect veilers and 2 to 3 breakthrough skills in most of these decks. If you look in the OCG, that's the only traps they use is breakthrough skill, return from a different dimension. Veiler is like a trap, obviously a hand trap. You're constantly shutting off effects. You don't need Fiendish Chain. You don't need any of that. You just shut off their effects. Breakthrough skill is getting better and better, being able to use it in the graveyard as well. You're able to just turn off effects and just go for game. Really, really good. It's another out to Ophion and stuff like that. So that's why the deck is just so versatile. It has outs to everything. Maxis to draw into more cards, Veilers to shut off effects, Breakthrough Skills to shut off effects, Rejuve to bring out replenish your hand, 7-star to draw more cards, Gold Star to get your dragon's effects off, and if you do run return all the dragons back and kill them in one turn. Like it's just absolutely ridiculous when you think about it. And that's what's so good about the deck. That's what's just like good and Yu-Gi-Oh about the deck at the same time. Now, what's bad about the deck? So I've talked to countless people about this because when I do these episodes, I always want to give, the good, the bad, and then, what's so broken about the deck. Now, what's bad about this deck? There are only a couple things that I've heard from people, only a couple things I can say is that what's bad about this deck is you might, and this is just a very small might, get inconsistent hands with the deck if the ratios aren't right. But at the same time, my argument is that that happens in any deck. Any deck of Yu-Gi-Oh! You're going to have those hands sometimes where it's just like, well, shit, I can't make a play. You're going to get those hands and it's going to be a problem. Now, I don't think that's the best argument. I think that that's just a general statement for any deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! But it would happen, especially in a deck that runs so many monsters. You could get hands that are maybe unplayable, but I don't think it's going to happen that much, especially with all the ways to draw and replenish and, utilize what's in your hand to summon bigger monsters and just get over things. So I don't think that's that great a thing. But I will say that what is bad about the deck is that it has a very hard time against Ophion. Ophion being able to prevent you from basically special summoning any of the cards is really important. It really hurts a lot of the plays. However, cards like Breakthrough Skill can really get around that, which is interesting. So that's why Breakthrough Skill is so good this format. It turns off Ophion if they don't have the pandemic or whatever. So there are possible loopholes through Ophion with the deck, and I'm sure the deck can just grind down and get around Ophion. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure yet. I have to watch how that matchup goes, especially if they start with the turn 1 Ophion. I know for a lot of decks it can be a problem, but I'm sure in time people will find a way to, change the deck to where it is able to counter Ophion. And I guess like one last card, I guess, that could really hurt the deck outside of Joel and Lockbird, like I mentioned, it's not Joel and Lock buys you a turn. That's not really enough unless you can OTK them back, and they run hand traps as well. So they're just gonna, they're gonna trap you, and you either play into it or you don't. And I guess one last thing is Imperial Iron Wall. I know some decks are starting to main it because not being able to banish is big. Prevents a lot of plays in this deck. So that's one thing, is that Imperial Iron Wall is definitely going to be a great card against Elemental Dragons. And that's all I can honestly say is bad about the deck. Outside of that, I think the deck is solid. This is just a basic template of the deck, but the deck is very solid. The deck is powerful. Big monsters, little monsters to get big monsters, crazy ass effects, and it just it kills you really, really fast. And it just shuts off all your effects in the process. Now, what's Yu-Gi-Oh about the deck? Let's just go to the extra deck for that. You need 3 Dragosack, which are currently going on eBay for I think $188. It could be more, it could be less. I heard 130 the day it came out, and it was 188 yesterday, according to what my friend told me. You need 3 Big Eye. Now, when you think about that, everyone's like, "Oh, the main deck's not that expensive." It really isn't. These little fuckers right here are like $10 rares. Like honestly, like they're $7 to $10 each. Tempest, Title, Blaster and Redox are expensive for rares. They're very expensive rares, and you need a set of all of them. So you're looking at $30. Say let's just ballpark it at $30 a set. That's 30 times four sets of dragons. It's just like it's ridiculous. You basically need $120 just for those freaking rares, which is just dumb. The rest of the deck isn't that expensive if you can pull the 7 swords. I mean, this went up to like a $5 to $7 common, which is stupid. Breakthroughs are a little expensive. They're like maybe 20. I don't know if they are up or down. But it's the extra deck that is stupid. You need 3 Big Eye, which are about 100 plus each. You need 3 Drago Sack, which are 100 plus each. Right there, that's like $600 right there, if not more. It's kind of ridiculous when you think about it, guys. Like, that's what Yu-Gi-Oh's become again. It's kind of crazy, but I mean, that's basically the whole analysis. You're able to, make Drago Sack. It's broken. I don't even need to explain it. Big Eye is broken. Take their monsters. They can make Gaios easily because they have the titles, so they just use title and Gaios and shut off more effects. Gaia Chargers ensure games. They can synchro. One of the best synchros is going to be Crimson Blader, especially in the mirror match, because your opponent can't normal special summon level 5 monsters during their next turn, so you basically shut them off for a turn and then just kill them next turn. So that's my whole analysis of the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thumbs it up, 150 plus likes. Well, we're gonna do a lot more episodes. Just comment below with the decks you want to see here on this series. You guys know that I'll also be doing the back in the day, the deck series on Perfect Circle and all those other decks from the old formats back in the good old days before decks like this were even like created. So I'll let you reminisce a little bit. But anyways, in the comments below, also, if you guys want to talk about what you feel is bad about the deck, what do you guys feel is bad about Elemental Dragons outside of their price, their ridiculousness, sackiness? What cards do you think will be the cards that are going to be able to shut down this deck? I'd really like to know. I think we could open up the comments to that, and it'd be really great. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thumbs it up. Let me know what you guys think about E-Dragons. Are you still going to play in a format where E-Dragons are playing? I'm still going to play. Don't really care. I might make the deck. I might not make the deck. The deck seems a little too expensive, just in my opinion. But, some people are willing to shell out for it. So we'll just see how the format goes. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thumbs it up, and thank you for watching.